to talk to you about the blessings of Abraham. And the blessings of Abraham are the ability to bless. Not only do you receive the blessings of Abraham, but the imperative of receiving the blessings of Abraham is to be able to bless. That's like people teaching us that if we give money to the kingdom of God, we're going to get back money. We're going to get a 100-fold, a 1,000-fold return. Oh, come on! When you give money to God, your faith releases God to give you back things money can't buy. Amen. I had a woman walk up to me after our men's event in Richmond, and she, on Sunday morning, got right up in my face, and I was trying to get away from her. I didn't need an aggressive female coming after me. But she got in there, and I realized that she was speaking for something real. And she looked at me and she said, I want you to know that my husband divorced me. We've been divorced for 2 years. I've had no contact with him at all, and he's not paid child support for our children. But when I heard you were coming to town for the men's event, I called him and I told him that if you'll go to Ed Cole's men's event, I'll forgive you the $2,000 child support you owe me, plus I'll buy you the ticket and I'll send it to you so you can attend it. Well, that's an offer a guy can't refuse. Can you say amen to that? And so he went. And so she told me, she said, Brother Cole, he went. We're standing outside by the book table on this beautiful sunny day, and she's just a very astute, dignified woman, and she's speaking with force and reality and spirituality. And she says, he went to your meeting. Last night he came by my house, first time in 2 years. He walked in and sat down in the living room and began to tell me what Jesus Christ had done in his life and how he had gotten saved. And he came by to ask me to forgive him for how he had been when we were married. And she said, Brother Cole, and here's where she's just gushing in tears. It's just running down, and mascara. And she's just crying. And she said, and Brother Cole, before he left, he said, you know, our anniversary is in a couple of weeks. Would you mind going out with me and let's celebrate our anniversary, and maybe even we can talk about getting back together or something. And she said, Brother Cole, it's the most wonderful, wonderful moment of my life. Now listen to it. Get the picture. How much did it cost her to pay for that man to go to that meeting? Come on. How much? $2,019, right? And you know what she got back? A husband. Can you buy a husband's love again? Can you buy his salvation? But by giving, God gave you back something you cannot buy with money. If you're offended by talking about money, then you can't read the Bible. Because Jesus talked more about money than he did anything else. 1 out of every 6 verses relates to money. And the reason for that is money is the nearest, money is the closest thing to omnipotence you'll ever have in your life. With money, you can buy bodies. The bodies of men or the bodies of women. With money, you can buy power. With money, you can buy almost anything there is, because it most nearly represents omnipotence in your hand. Because it allows you to buy almost anything in this life. Secondly, the reason why money is important to you is because you give your life to get money. Therefore, what you do with your money shows what you do with your life. Because if he can't get you on temptation, he'll get you on accusation. And I'll guarantee you, as you sit in this building right now, there are some of you in this building at this particular time that have been tempted. and you have rejected that temptation. But the devil has lied to you and made you think that you were guilty of doing it in your heart. And he has beaten you down with accusation. Or you may have made a mistake in your life and felt a measure of guilt. And God will forgive you. Satan never will. And he will continually to accuse you all your life. And if you will allow him to, he'll beat you down to a nothing. And you will think you can't do anything because of the guilt of the past. And brother, I want you to know, sister, I want you to know, that isn't God, that is the devil. Satan never comes to you as the devil. He always appears as an angel of light. And his temptation, when it comes, always appears as an opportunity for good. And you know what happens to young couples, and the reason why there's so many of them under stress and tension and anxiety and being pulled apart is because they're being seduced by the usurious advertising and practices of lending institutions to try to convince them they can have in 3 years of marriage what mom and dad took 30 years of marriage to accumulate. 1 Samuel 15:22 says to obey is better than sacrifice. How many of you know that? To obey is better than sacrifice. Why? For a very obvious reason. You cannot compensate by sacrifice for what you lose through disobedience. Man after man has come to me and asked me to pray for him because his marriage is breaking up or his wife has left him. And I asked him, did you listen to her and pray with her? Did you listen to her when you were married to her? And he says, well, no, but I will now. You know what he's trying to do? He's trying to compensate by the sacrifice of prayer what he lost through the disobedience of not listening to her when he was married to her. But if you're not giving consistently to God and you're praying for God to get you out of debt, then you're trying to compensate by the sacrifice of prayer for what you're losing through the disobedience of not tithing.